A little mouse lived in a house with a girl. Every morning when the sun shone through the window, he would wake up. Stretching his tiny paws, he would jump down from his cozy nest and start his day. He loved to scamper around the kitchen, looking for yummy snacks. Sometimes he would find bits of cheese or crumbs under the cupboards. Other times he would sneak into the pantry and steal a sip of milk. One day as he was rummaging through the pantry, he saw something that made his whiskers twitch with surprise. It was a big, fat, juicy worm squiggling on the shelf.
Mouse.
The mouse had never seen anything like it before. Cautiously approached it, sniffed it a few times, and then took a small bite. "Yuck," he exclaimed. "What is this weird thing? It doesn't taste good at all." The worm, hearing this, said, "Hey, you shouldn't complain. At least you get to eat tasty food here. I'm stuck on this shelf and I'm so hungry, I could eat a hole in this bag of birdseed." The mouse felt a pang of sympathy for the worm. "Don't worry," he said. "I'll help you get out of here." And with that, he started pushing the bag of birdseed towards the edge of the shelf. When it reached the end, the worm wriggled out, thanked the mouse, and disappeared into the kitchen. The mouse, feeling very proud of himself, went back to his nest for a nap. But soon, he heard loud footsteps coming down the stairs. He peeked out of his hole and saw a big ginger cat walking into the kitchen. The mouse froze in fear. He knew that if the cat saw him, he would be in big trouble. Luckily, the cat just walked past his hole without noticing him. As soon as the coast was clear, the mouse ran out of his hole and went back to the pantry. He had an idea. Quickly, he pushed another bag of food towards the edge of the shelf, just in case the worm wanted to come back. Then he climbed up the wall and hid behind a picture hanging on the wall. In a few minutes, the girl came into the pantry to get some water. She was wearing a big white shirt, and as she reached for the tap, the mouse saw something that made his eyes pop out of his head. There were hundreds of tiny little bugs crawling all over her shirt. Some were flying around her head and others were marching in a line. The girl screamed and started jumping up and down, trying to get rid of them. The mouse, seeing his chance, jumped onto her shoulder and whispered in her ear, "Don't worry, I'll take care of those bugs for you." And with that, he started eating the bugs that were on her shirt. The ones that were flying around got confused by the sudden disappearance of their friends and flew away. The ones that were on the ground kept marching forward, completely oblivious to what was happening. When the girl looked down, she saw that all the bugs were gone and that there was a tiny little mouse sitting on her shoulder looking very pleased with himself. She wasn't scared or angry, and she couldn't help but smile. She reached out and stroked the mouse, and he purred like a little engine. From that day on, the girl and the mouse became the best of friends. He would often come out of his hole to say hello to her, and she would give him little pieces of cheese as a treat. One day, while they were playing in the pantry, the girl found a small box with a lid. She brought it to the table and asked the mouse to help her open it. Together, they managed to lift the lid, and inside they found the most beautiful thing they had ever seen before, a tiny little kitten. The girl and the mouse looked at each other, and then at the kitten, and then back at each other. They both knew that they had to do something that neither of them had ever done before, something that would change their lives forever.